the Toowoomba Carnival of Flowers. It's in its 69th year, and it's one of Australia's premier events. And I asked local noted horticulturalist Brian Sams what it actually means for the people of Toowoomba.
I think it means a lot. I think that a lot of people who are local don't realise how special it actually is. It's really the only show of its type in the whole world that I know of that has so much community involvement. As you look around Toowoomba, of course you've got the public spaces which are funded by our local council. You've got the private gardens, but you've got so many other events that are happening all around the place. There must be thousands and thousands of locals that are doing their little bit to make the show special. And you could easily spend a week or so here going to what are not professionally run events necessarily, but really good fun events.
I guess what inspired me about the carnival was, as Brian said, that spirit of community, the ever-present joy that existed with everything that was presented, the beautiful colours, and the grand central floral parade on Saturday was a unique presentation. 96 community groups in all their colour, their finery, their dance and their music. The parade was over for another year, and now it was time to visit the public parks and private people's gardens. Laurel Bank Park was filled with colour and vitality. It was also epitomised by a sense of fun for all age groups.
Thank you very much.
Such a peaceful haven of tranquility was the Japanese garden. One of the first gardens we visited was an exhibition garden, a native garden belonging to Gal and Adrian Wachner.
Well, my favourite is the grevillea, particularly the ones that flower predominantly all the year round, and I think peaches and cream is one of my favourite plants because it's forever flowering and the lorikeets just love it.
I'd probably pick the plant behind me. There's a Calistrum, Taree Pink. Okay. They're very hardy in dry weather. This one behind has had no water and is flowering prolifically. And you know, I enjoy the colour, the pink colour. Yes. And I'm very impressed with this plant.
The garden of Maria and Gordon Reynolds was a special one, as in 2017 it was crowned Grand Champion City Garden, unusual for a native garden.
Well, it probably sounds a bit quirky, but I'd probably like to be a grevillea because it really attracts the birds. But they're full of nectar, they're sweet, and they're quite pretty. You know, they're really, I think they're all stunning in that. See, you look at them separately.
I understand that many of the plants you have are rare and some are bordering on extinction.
Yeah, that's true. We've actually got quite a few here that now that, well, one especially that they thought was extinct. Yes. And they found one of them. We had to wait until they propagated enough to put back into the wild. Okay. And they put back where they found that one bush. And then we actually got one after that. Wow. But it's really good to have, just to think we've saved one of them anyhow.
Absolutely, no, that's fantastic.
We have other ones there too, that there was only 11 left in the wild and that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So even though they're not big flowers,
yes,
it's good to think that we've got something that's almost quite rare, really.
Diana, congratulations on the champion winning garden. It's absolutely magnificent. How does it make you feel?
Oh, really proud actually, with Mother Nature being against us this year and all the hardship we had to go through. It was a real shock. To me anyhow, and when they announced us as the winners, everyone said I just sat there with my mouth open and tears were pouring down because I really didn't think we'd get anything like this year. But it's been a trial.
Through the drought and
the wildlife and the birds and everything else, and Mother Nature threw 6 black frosts against us this year, plus the other stuff, and quite a things that never ever got frosted this year. But we got there in the long run, and everyone seems to enjoy the garden. That's the main thing.
Yeah. So if you were a flower, what flower do you think you would be and why?
I'd like to be the wisteria, because then I can hang around, do nothing and look pretty. You asked me.
Yeah, that's right. Thanks very much. I love it.
That's okay.
So firstly, congratulations, Karen.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, your garden is really, really colourful, and that waterfall, it's magnificent. How did you make that?
Well, yes, that's our own design. The water's coloured, of course, and it's a coloured blue, and I get a lot of people ask me why it's blue, and I just simply explain to them that I know a lot of elderly women have got white hair, and if they go to the hairdressers, they get it dyed blue, so I thought if they happen to accidentally fall in the pool, they'd come out with the right coloured hair.
I've got to ask you, Kevin, if you were a flower, what flower do you reckon you'd be and why?
Well, I'm not too sure about that one, because the Horticultural Society did ring me up and wanted to come out and get a photo of me, and I said, why do you want a photo of me? And they said, well, you're the biggest pansy we've ever seen.
Here with Nola and Paul Rubb, who are the grand champions of the country gardens in the Toowoomba Carnival of Flowers. So firstly, congratulations. It's a wonderful effort. And as you can see, part of the garden behind me here. How long has it taken to put the garden together, Nola?
Well, we've been here 12 years, so it took us a while to build the house and get settled in.
Okay.
Then we started on the development of the garden. First of all, we did the windbreak, because we got wind from absolutely every direction, so we knew that we had to put windbreaks north, south, east and west. So we've done that, and once we got that done, then we could start on the building of the actual garden.
Okay. And Paul, has there been a bit of a problem with the drought or anything?
Well, it's always a problem with drought everywhere, but as long as you've got a reasonable water supply and can manage it, it gets us through.
Okay, beautiful. Now, you both look yeah, pretty stunning people, and you've got stunning flowers and plants here. So Paula, I was just going to ask you if you were a plant or a flower, what do you think you'd be, and why?
Well, that's a strange question. Excuse me. Well, I suppose, I'm standing here beside a bottle tree. Now, they're a rather unique tree. They're a native. They've got a fascinating look about them. People say that they're full of water, but they're not. They're full of fibre, which contains water.
Yep.
And so, yeah, I suppose as far as a native bottle tree.
Yeah, so you're full of fibre yourself, do you think? Or?
Well, I'd have to be to keep going with this garden.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and yeah, thanks for that. And Nola, what about you? What would you be?
Well, I think I'd like to be a status plant because I keep going and I flower virtually all year. So that's what I'd like to be.
Fabulous. Oh, look, thanks very much, Nola. I really appreciate you talking to us. And Paul, thanks very much. And congratulations again.
Thank you.
Cheers. Right, we're here with Neville and Heather McNulty, the reserve grand champions of the Country Gardens. Firstly, congratulations.
Thank you very much, Lee.
Magnificent garden. And where did the inspiration come from the garden?
I started off as a little garden, and then I got really, it was my passion.
Okay.
And my mum was a gardener, and so then it just grew and grew
Okay.
and grew until
wow.
it got to this size.
Yeah.
And Neville said, "That's big enough, no more."
Right.
I'd probably be a rose because of the perfume.
Okay.
Probably a daisy.
Oh, yeah.
A daisy.
Yeah, it's probably my favourite.
Yeah, the ones that are
Yeah.
really covered with flowers, around the back
Okay,
there, the
yeah,
osteosperms.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
A bit
He,
like yourself, cut very colourful.
Yeah, that's about it.
Okay.
And they're always covered with flowers. That's what Neville likes about them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And gardens going to continue next year and into the future?
Into a different at a different place. We've just about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're just about on. We're not moving till January, but somebody come along and offered us a good price. And Neville's 74 nearly before we got a shift, and they said you can stop there till January. So
Okay.
we'll be heading down towards Toowoomba somewhere. Somewhere where the dirt that I can garden in, and a big shed for Neville.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Well, all the best with
Thank
the
you,
move
thank
there.
you.
And congratulations again. And thanks very much,
thank you.
Heather and Neville, for
Yeah.
sharing those
You're
thoughts
welcome.
with us.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Okay, cheers, thank you.
Okay.
Well, I think if I was a flower, I'd be a frangipani. I love frangipanis, but frangipanis sort of suggest sunshine and happiness, and they're bright and make people smile, and also suggest holidays and a bit of time to relax.
Fantastic, yes.
Well, I reckon if I was a plant, I'd like to be a beautiful weeping maple. I love maples for a start. That's one thing. They live to be a great age, and they're a little bit sort of bitter and twisted. And I'm not so much bitter and twisted, but a little bit gnarled, and they've got a bit of character about them. So, and I reckon they're honest, which is what I'd like to be as well.
Yeah. We're speaking here with Shirley Cronk, who's first place Country Back Gardens. Congratulations,
Thank you.
Shirley, in the garden. Your garden's lovely, by the way. And what do you think is the main ingredient of a good garden?
Preparation.
Yeah.
I do use a lot of cow manure, horse manure, and chook manure. And I think if you get your ground well prepared, and I like mulching. I like using the lawn clippings.
Okay. Yeah.
And then every so often I will mulch with loosen mulch.
Okay. Beautiful. And yeah, to me, one of the essences of this garden is that it's obviously made with love. Would you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's love. I've thought about the iris.
Okay.
The bearded iris.
Okay.
They are so pretty.
Yes.
They're so delicate.
Yes.
They love the cold weather, where lots of us don't like cold, but the colder the winter,
Yes.
the better they'll flower.
Okay.
And the wallabies don't touch those.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when I bloom, I would just look so beautiful.
Peter and Twee here from Tweeters. Yes. What is Tweeters, Peter? Please.
Tweeters is a farm stay, B&B type accommodation.
Okay.
For everyone from couples to groups of
Okay.
people.
Yeah. And Twee, you're in the garden competition?
Yes, this
the
year,
country
yes.
country gardens.
Yes,
and
this is our first year.
What did you win?
We won the best productive gardens,
Okay.
and we came seconds on the first entrance of just the overall garden.
So if you yourself were a flower or a plant, which one would you be, and why? Twee, what do you reckon?
I probably want to be just a native.
And you yourself
sort of
can
plant.
identify being a native because
Yes.
you're a hardy person yourself, are you?
Yeah, I am, coming from Vietnam, which is, crowded Asia, and then moved to Australia, and then for the first 18 months we live in the shed at the back, no electricity, no water, no internet, no kitchen, and then work every day, barking, log, fencing, which is I'm not used to it because I used to be just an office person. But then I've come to love being in the country and love what I'm doing. So I think, I could say I'm a bit of a tough person.
Oh, thank you. Thanks, Twee. So, Peter, if you were a plant or a flower, what would you be and why?
I'd be a vegetable.
Yes.
Simply because it's practical, and we utilise all our own veggies here in our own cooking, and for either guests or for ourselves. So one of the biggest things we have is the veggie garden. So, and we put a lot of time and effort in order to get the right foods for our guests here.
Because of the smell, you'd be a wisteria. Do you smell pretty good yourself, do you?
Yeah, I don't smell too good. But no, I'm not real good, no. That's what my missus says anyway.
Okay, I can relate to that too, John. John, thank you very much.
Thanks very much.
To us.
Lovely to meet you.
Really appreciate it. The flower people of Toowoomba smiled. The earth smiled. And we smiled as the sun set on our 4 fabulous days at the Toowoomba Carnival of Flowers.